Some music roads lead back to Kern County and Bakersfield. The connections to the AMA's nominees to Kern County you may have not known about tonight at 11. Primetime Emmy Awards are all about celebrating the best of television. And what else makes good TV? Red carpet fashion. And we're currently inside the Bakersfield studio of someone that helps make that magic happen. That star-studded cast happens to be called The Devil Has a Name, and they left their Hollywood sets for our agricultural landscapes, much like this one. Virtually, welcome back to our neck of the woods. What was your experience here in Bakersfield when you were filming? How'd you like the people and the landscape?
I loved it, and they treated us with such respect and kindness.
Oscars are historically Hollywood's biggest night out to celebrate a year in movies. But after a year of barely seeing any people, the theme this year was humanity.
Yeah, she has the moves.
Gosh.
She definitely does. I mean, she probably dances way better than we do. Bayan, you wanted to challenge us to a dance, but you got to go first. That's all I'm saying.
Oh gosh, all right, here we go. Little Oscars dance right here, just after winning the award.
It's been exactly a year since family members, friends, and fans said goodbye to Chadwick Boseman. After battling forces of evil as the Black Panther, his family revealed he was battling forces of nature. The star passed away on August 28th of last year of colon cancer. We took the duo back to last year when Billboard reported that they dethroned Buck Owens for having the second longest streak of the top first and second spots on the Hot Country Song charts. And he is one of the godfathers of the Bakersfield sound, which is a huge genre in country music. So I just wanted to ask you, how do you feel like these forefathers may have paved the way for you to be so successful in country music?
They did everything for us.
She wants to be an independent witch woman, which is so cool. And a lot of people are just spending a lot of time with themselves during this year of this pandemic. So what kind of message do you want to communicate to our audiences now in this place of growth that they're all experiencing too?
That's such a lovely question.
We've met you before, haven't we?
Yes, we have. That was the day we were all matching together.
Oh my God.
It was the longest intermission that the Stars Theater has ever had, but as you can see, it is now officially over. Look at this almost packed house behind me. What is it about the energy of the audience that really just makes all the difference?
It's a two-way it really needs to be a two-way communication.
You grabbed your popcorn or your street fries, which they're known for here. You'll walk on over to get your ticket scanned. As you can see on the ground here, there are socially distanced signs to remind you to stay 6 feet apart. So we're gonna walk on over back to Jenny Sullivan to ask about what you can expect when you are about to enter into the theater. Good evening and thank you for joining us for 23 ABC News at 6 on air and online. I'm Kristin Vartan. The 4th of July festivities have already begun here in Kern County. Multiple cities are hosting festivals today and the fireworks shows start later tonight. Well, great, Scott, Veronica. That was so cool, but we're going to Marty McFly it back to Brandon Michaels.
Well done.
For music buffs looking for something to do this weekend, here's something that may be your forte. The Bakersfield Symphony Orchestra will be opening their 90th season to an in-person audience for the first time in 2 years. As BSO's principal trombone player Jared Dalgleish points out, an orchestra is not a one-person band. A North Carolina man won nearly $200,000 on a lottery ticket he forgot that he bought. Gregory Warren, a mechanic from Franklinville, picked up a Cash 5 lottery ticket at a gas station on September 29th. Then he completely forgot about it until this week. People stream The Little Things this weekend. They will discover that Denzel Washington's character is on patrol in our very own Kern County before he gets called back to Los Angeles for an evidence gathering mission. And that is just the beginning of the story.
Things probably changed a lot since he left.
You still got to catch him, right?
Yeah.
Not that much has changed.
Triple Threat is normally a word for an assortment of 3 talents. Starring 3 Academy Award-winning actors Rami Malek, Jared Leto, and Denzel Washington, The Little Things, in a sense, fits that phrase.
It must have been interesting for John Lee Hancock to deal with Jared, then go deal with Denzel, and then go deal with Rami.
But for us here in Kern County, the star that stood out the most was Washington. Not just because he's a Hollywood legend, of course, but he plays a Kern County sheriff's deputy. His character, Joe Deacon, gets called to Los Angeles, where he originally worked for the LAPD, to gather some evidence on a criminal in Bakersfield. In the process, he gets tangled up in solving a serial killer case alongside Sergeant Jim Baxter, played by Rami Malek.
We are taking a 24/7 all-hands-on-deck approach to these cases.
There is such a psychology to these guys, and it's very complex. It's very intricate to what these detectives are doing, and they get very singular and myopic.
It demands our attention, but so do the suspicious backstories of each character, including Deacon.
It's the little things that rip you apart. It's the little things that get you caught.
It wasn't what it appeared to be, because you don't really know which one of us are really. I was reading some comments on something, and there were people saying they thought I was really or my character was really the killer.
Producer, writer, and director John Lee Hancock says that the script is, quote, a character study on what it means to be a cop. Washington says that his character deals with inner demons only someone in law enforcement can resonate with.
How's the trunk space?
The complexity is even something Hancock and Leto, who plays the main suspect Albert Sparma, had to map out.
We had a logic board because we were like, well, how does Albert Sparma know this? First of all, did he do it? Did he not do it? These were kind of answers we need to come up with, and just to make logistical sense of the thing. But I love that. I mean, certainly the opposite isn't much fun, a movie that doesn't make you think.
The film will be available to stream and in theaters starting Friday. At the Kern County Sheriff's Office, Kristin Vartan, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
ABC's Kristin Vartan joining us live outside Buck Owens Crystal Palace after sitting down with Jim Ranger. Kristin.
Mike, this is one of the many places that Jim Ranger sharpened his guitar strings before placing second on The Voice, with the entire community of Bakersfield cheering him on along the way. He says he does not take any of that support for granted.
But always stay humble and kind.
Staying humble and kind, and of course talent, are perhaps what drew Blake Shelton to Bakersfield-based and bred musician and pastor Jim Ranger from day one on The Voice, and took him all the way to second place.
This entire existence is a gift, and it's something not to be squandered. It's doing the most you can with every given situation you've been given, and that might be a little bit, and that might be a lot. And so when this opportunity came up, this isn't necessarily something I was chasing. It just kind of started to unfold and happen. And me and her, when we talked about it, it was like, man, let's see how far this rabbit hole goes,
After what he says is a crazy ride, he's back home in Bakersfield with his 3 kids and wife, Camilla.
Now, home is where it all starts. So tell me about just what were you like as a kid? Were you just like, microphone in hand from the very beginning, could sing before you could talk? What were you like?
Well, I grew up in a home where music was extremely normal. The first, probably 5-6 years of my life, we lived in a motorhome and traveled around the country, and they did music. And so it was just such a normal part of my life. I joke all the time that I was like, 10, 11 years old before I realized that not all families would sit around a piano and sing together.
Ranger adds that he started taking music more seriously as a teenager, when he picked up guitar, wrote songs, and joined choir at Ridgeview High.
Her hair blowing in the wind.
And The Voice is not Jim Ranger's debut on the national stage. Back in 2010, he auditioned for American Idol on a whim with his brother.
When it was over, it was like I wasn't sad. I didn't have my breakdown moment. You'll see me again type of thing, It just seemed like a silly roller coaster ride I got to ride, and that was the end of it.
But clearly that was not the end of it. 10 years later, after playing music with local band Souljar and putting out a worship album, he found himself submitting an audition tape for The Voice. Through all of this, his family has been cheering him on. His wife and fellow New Life Church campus pastor Camilla Ranger gushing over watching him grow as a man and a musician after almost 2 decades of marriage.
One of the things I heard consistently is that, oh yeah, the same Jim that everybody's getting to see on The Voice is the same Jim that we know. And for me and the kids, it was like, this is the same man that we have in our home all the time. The world just got to see it. And so I think that that's what came through. And I think that that's what drew Blake to him.
Now that the music industry, Ranger says, is off of holiday break, he's about to have some major talks. And he says a record deal could be a topic. In the meantime, he's giving his all to his church and family. And at the very least,
now you have a whole day dedicated.
No, how about that?
What does that feel like? You're like getting that designation.
It's unbelievably silly and beautiful. We're going to come up with a lot of creative ideas that are going to be the new traditions for Jim Ranger Day.
For sure.
And we haven't quite worked those out yet, but I think they'll unfold.
I think we all have to wear hats.
It's got to wear hats, you know. Hats. I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of barbecue involved or something.
We'll have an extended interview with our local star on our website, turnto23.com. At Buck Owens Crystal Palace, Kristin Vartan, 23 ABC News, connecting you.